of the world's most prominent social rights activists and the man behind South Africa's dream of a rainbow nation. Desmond Tutu could fire up huge crowds while preaching his message of non-violence. He led the fight against apartheid in South Africa with his speeches. When Black Consciousness Movement leader Steve Biko was murdered by police in 1977, Desmond Tutu delivered the funeral sermon. There was a growing desire for revenge, but once again the Archbishop called for non-violence.
Well, it was taking a huge chance when I made them chant, we are all going to be free, black and white. And I said, let's repeat that. And they did. Deep in our consciousnesses as South Africans, we know we belong together.
This was his dream of a rainbow nation, a concept that made him famous. He won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1984 for his non-violent struggle against apartheid. 10 years later, when the apartheid regime had fallen, President Nelson Mandela put him in charge of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. He spent over 2 years listening to stories of imprisonment and torture, stories that sometimes drove him to tears. After he survived prostate cancer, Tutu decided to move beyond the borders of South Africa to join the fight for global justice. From the refugee camps of South Sudan to the post-election crisis in Ivory Coast. He remained an outspoken and sometimes controversial peace activist throughout his travels. He attacked Israel over the country's treatment of Palestinians, calling it a modern apartheid. But his main target became South African President Jacob Zuma, whom he accused of corruption. In April 2013, he received the Templeton Prize for his work in the realms of love and forgiveness.
Can we then put the smile back on God's face?
Despite the terrible stories of those who crossed his path, Desmond Tutu's smiles, laughter and dancing showed he had a faith that could put an end to injustice.